Give me a second.
Indeed.
We doing.
It's a lot going on.
I know, right? I didn't even mean to put this filter on. It was a whole accident. I'm about to switch over though, so give me a second.
You dyed your
I
hair?
like it. I like every bit of it, Jerry. I didn't see it.
It's a headband.
Hey, Mona, again.
I'm in here now.
Hi there. Oh, thank you.
That's better.
Hey, where you at?
Right here.
I'm here.
She in the car?
Yeah, they was working on the townhouse.
I'm well. I'm doing all right. New place is good.
We're gonna have we're gonna get to see a tour.
Yeah.
And I don't mean
I
on
like
Zoom,
the
nigga.
mirror light.
What?
You said
We don't want to tour
I
on
like
Zoom
the
either.
mirror light.
Oh.
Y'all can hear
What you
Well,
say, Sarah? You don't want a tour in June.
on Zoom. We don't want a Zoom tour.
You can come over and tour now. There's all types of stuff.
I
No, because
am.
then you're gonna have
I
me doing
am
some work.
good. I am here, and I will eventually be trying to figure out what I'm about to eat in this good old state of Louisiana. Huh?
Oh man, better get you a crab boy or something.
Listen, it's so much. You got graduations. You got people who just need to be seen, taken care of, needing support. We just making it happen.
Listen, listen.
When she chimed in, that was funny.
I am not. Well, today that's
I'll
my
be
day. That's why I felt like
You
doing
can
it.
call her Ladybug. How you gonna judge her when you spelled your name wrong, Jason?
Yep.
Don't be coming for my cousin. She ain't sending for you. Don't come for her.
Ladybug.
But wait, wasn't he the one? Wasn't he the one earlier talking about who the hell is Ladybug on this?
Who said that, JR?
Yeah.
Listen, I didn't know.
Well, okay.
He's just asking favor.
Now it's don't come for his cousin.
Mhm.
Look, now that he know. Did we lose him?
No, he
What'd
right
you
there.
say?
He
I ain't hear you.
muted
What you
himself.
say? Oh, I'm good. I'm good. I'm blessed and highly favored.
Amen, brother.
Uh-huh.
Amen.
You know.
Okay.
Well, hold on. Fuck
Okay.
that. See, you
What the
got
heck
your
is a
laptop
bobo?
fixed.
Look,
I
that's
said,
on JR.
Who is Elaine talking
I
to?
see you got that laptop fixed.
I'm not,
That was in
I'm not
JR's
talking to
house.
anybody.
What happened to it? What was wrong with it?
That mug went splat in the middle of a show.
And that,
It did.
that
It
nigga ain't
did.
pay his bill. That's all. He had to pay his cable bill.
He went on mute because he was talking shit. What was you saying?
Nope. If that's his computer about to tell him
Your
he going
computer
down.
stopped you from saying what you were saying. You must have been talking shit. You were like this.
No, there's people in the background, so I was muting for that reason.
His computer light is, I ain't all the way fixed, so don't
Right.
don't
Well, I
keep
don't know about
talking.
that. But I
Right.
cut you off.
I told you what to do to get a new one. You better go on them easy payment sites and get a new one. Just let it go. Let it go.
Yeah, you can go. You can go with Microsoft or Dell.
Apparently it ain't working.
Listen, sometimes the
I
best
think
is
it's working.
yet
We're
to
on it
come,
now.
and it ain't came yet. So
New beginnings. New beginnings.
Much.
In the
You
name.
a lot right now.
Lucy
Tell
said you're giving a
Lucy
lot
to-
and you won't give her too much. She is doing.
Lucy
Tell
said,
Lucy. Lucy
on,
need to
Desi.
get off the goose. Okay.
What she said.
Good boy,
Lucy
Desi.
said don't give her too much. Now,
Lucy
Break
Okay.
it down.
Lucy want to be buried with
Lucy
Ricky.
said, "Do y'all got?" Lucy said, "If y'all got money to replace Lucy."
I told you what to do,
Y'all see
damn it.
Siobhan's sisters and
Hey,
niece?
Hi,
They're here for Desi's birthday.
Devon, we missed you already.
hey
But you
Siobhan,
got
we
it.
miss
Hey,
you.
She
Javon.
can't hear you. I got my headphones in. She's not important.
Come on with the finger, it's coming.
She can't hear. Hold on. Hey, Siobhan, they was talking to you.
Hey Siobhan.
He said that you.
Hey,
He said
Javon.
that you wasn't important, and Jason said to come on with the finger. There we go.
There it went.
No, it's still messy.
And we got it.
We got the. That's a listen. That's. I'm gonna find. I'm gonna make that the cover of the show. That finger. So y'all, today I really wanted to get y'all together and talk about. So I've been watching this show on YouTube. It's like a reality TV show, and one of the girls on there is an activist, and it got me to thinking about like, what do we do in our own personal lives that we consider like activism, and how do we
At this point in time, I think you should just type and we should read it
Or he
because
should call on from his phone.
Is it still doing the
it's
same
not-
thing?
He having some more
Yeah.
problems
Okay,
again?
you back now.
Oh Lord, you gotta
Go
pay
get
your bills on
another-
time, Jason.
Shut up,
Go get a
JR.
fan or something.
You know, these are moments that people watch. It's okay. It's good TV.
Yeah, we're gonna have to set up a GoFundMe for his cable bill though.
It might work. It may work. Listen, however you can get it.
Hey, listen, if you can get them to sponsor, it might be for free, okay?
Right.
Okay.
GoFundMe. What's the other one?
Listen, I got a Patreon. Go ahead and give to the Patreon.
That's
That's
not
not
it.
the same.
It's a
I
different
don't
one.
know.
Patreon is monthly, so we can do that.
Yeah, but is it for the family chat?
There's something that
It's
you
for
can-
everything.
Oh,
Can't think of it, but it helps people along their way.
It's for the whole channel. There's Ko-fi, there's Patreon, there's all of them. So anyway, what I was saying was I was watching this YouTube channel and this YouTube show, and they have a girl in it that's an activist. And now she's a little much for me Cause like she's like, I don't do white people at all.
Oh wow.
Wow.
Like when they're like, it's a little reality show, and she's like, there was this girl in the cast who was Mexican, and she was like, "Are you Mexican or are you white? Because I don't fool with white people."
Wow. So pretty much she's racist.
Someone called her out on it, and she said black people can't be racist. Which I
think that
someone else
that's
has said that to me, that black people can't be racist.
People have
I don't quite understand that.
But she's the reason why people think that because you are pro-black, you are anti-white because of people like her. Because being pro-black doesn't mean you're anti-white.
Right.
But if she's so in your face and aggressive with it, like
I'm sorry, that's
definitely gonna be taken out. Yeah.
So like for me, it got me to thinking like, what is, because I consider myself a bit of an activist, and partially because I do shows where we talk about things that are controversial, and I have opinions, and I don't have a problem saying them, but I don't have a problem but I like to bring in dialogue and talk about, important topics.
Yeah, she's not into that. That sounds
but I don't cut somebody off because they, I don't feel like just because you have a different opinion than I do doesn't mean that your opinion is any less valid. It may be less informed.
Well, wow, really less informed? You can't just agree to disagree. He said less informed. Now, is that the position you want to take, Jason?
We good with it. We agree to disagree. But
that's not what he said.
No, but to me, an activist is you have a passion about something. Her sound like she's just out and out racist, but
she ugly with it.
To be an activist means that you have a passion about something and you doing something to change whatever it is that your way of thinking or your way of thought, or to improve what it is that your passion is about. If you have a passion about how about we stop this gun violence and stuff, that's my passion. That means my activist is gonna be going in and figuring out ways to get rid of the guns and stuff. But to say I'm not gonna deal with you, I don't deal with white people, that's just racist.
Well, she said that she can't be racist because she's black. Now, I definitely understand that.
That's like a white person saying they can't be a Ku Klux Klan because they white.
I definitely understand the mindset of racism equals oppression plus power, or power plus it's racism is systematic, and you have to be in a position of power. But that doesn't mean you can't be racist, because I feel like if you are, especially in the context of you're on a reality show and you're and everybody's black except for one person, and you're I don't want to be on the show with this person because they're not black. That is racist, because the power structure in that show, you are the majority.
Wait, is this based on a reality show?
Yeah, it's on a reality show.
Oh, that shit is fake. That's scripted.
Man, that shit's scripted.
We don't even need to discuss that shit anymore.
No. It's interesting because it's I think that a lot of the job. I think a lot of the no, here's my thought. I think a lot of the reality shows you see on TV are scripted.
Mm-hmm.
But some of the ones you see that are on YouTube, these underground shows, because there's a lot of gay reality shows on YouTube.
Oh, we ain't watching those.
I know y'all ain't. I didn't say you was, nigga.
Did you use the N-word?
Yeah, whoa, language, sir.
Wait a minute.
That's her second time.
Since we've been doing this, what you talking about?
That's number 2.
What?
I'm just,
the devil is a lie.
But those I don't think are scripted, because they be fighting for real.
Hold on, what show you talking about on YouTube that ain't scripted? Let me hear one of the.
So there's one called Chasing Atlanta, and they be fighting for real.
And how old are these people?
They in they mid-20s. They young.
Oh my God. Yeah, I don't need to be watching that.
No, it's a mess. What I think a lot of these people think they own the Real Housewives, so they try to give like, I'm glamorous, I'm this, I'm that, going to their little
I still think it's scripted. I think I think it's YouTube and everybody has a role. Now, I will say it might get serious, but if somebody's there, say, hey, let's record ourselves act in motion in real life. I think that it starts out with everybody having a role on some of them, not all of them.
And let me tell you how it's scripted. Because if you sit there when they be saying they fighting in restaurants and stuff, that's impossible. Because if you pay attention, yeah, they might get to fight in the restaurant, but the cameraman was behind the counter with the owner or something the whole time. So you know it's scripted.
Right.
Exactly.
Some of those, the ones you see on TV, those ones I think are scripted and they kind of have an idea of what's going on. But these ones were literally it's just a dude with an iPhone.
They're gonna give you a private room and say y'all can tell whatever y'all want to tell up in there, but y'all ain't gonna be messing with me.
Make sure y'all give me my money.
But the one, like I said, the ones where they be really be having like where it's just the dude with an iPhone and he's walking around filming other people, they really be getting into the stuff. Because I saw one time where they was in this Chinese food restaurant, and when I tell you they fucked that Chinese food restaurant up.
That's because the owner knew they was about.
How many of them went to jail?
Say what?
How many of them went to jail after that?
I don't know how many of them went to jail, but I know that the man told them to get out.
I don't know what Korean spot you've been to, but the ones around here ain't telling you get out. They're gonna lock the door and come out with the back with a bunch of butcher knives. They tearing up their store.
Well, that's because you live in a place where they bought it.
So do you.
But I think it's. I don't think all. I think you have some who are like that and some who aren't.
Right, and
that's everywhere.
But to kind of go back to kind of where I started off with this, like, what do you guys? I think, Mom, you kind of hit the nail on the head with the activism about something that you're passionate about. But what are ways that I think that to me, I think of that person as like a bad activist. You know what I mean? Like. That person is not, because you're talking into a wind tunnel. Like the way you are, if you're like, I don't talk to white people, or I don't fool white people, or I don't do this, I don't do that. Well, like you're preaching to the choir. Like you're not going to get anybody to understand your point of view because you're automatically coming with them negative.
Who are we to say a person is a bad actor? Everybody's passion is different, and now when your activism creates violence and death, that's
Okay, I will say not an effective activist.
Right? Yeah, I don't think
kind of like when Trump had everybody rally to the Capitol.
Right.
Yeah, that was some crazy activism there.
But I mean, if you
based on racist rhetoric,
uninformed opinions.
Yeah, it's just hard to say with activism because people they believe passionately about what they believe in, but. But
I also think there's a way that you get your point across. You know what I'm saying?
I agree.
We can disagree on, on how we feel about something and still have dialogue and still have conversation where I walk away and you may not have changed my mind, but I understand where you're coming from.
Right.
But if you come into a situation and you're like they had an argument, like on this show, there was an argument about like using proper pronouns and stuff. And the dude that she was talking to was like, look, I do that with everybody else, but there's this one particular person I don't fuck with or I don't mess with. Sorry, Ma. And so I don't care about using their pronouns. And she was like, well, that's my friend and blah, 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 blah. He was like, I don't care.
Is this on that show again?
Yeah. He was like, I met him as a him, so that's what he gonna be to me. And I don't care about if it offends him or disrespects him because I don't like him and he don't like me, and that is what it is.
Well, that's just them. That's two
right.
people.
So she was like, "Well, you're transphobic and you're this and you're that," and he's like, "I'm none of those things."
Right. I don't believe he was. He said why he would do it because I don't like him. So I'm not going to accommodate him. I'm not doing anything going my way to make him feel comfortable.
Right, which I was like, I don't necessarily, I looked at it from that point. I was like, I don't necessarily agree with that because I think that that's just basic common decency. If you can remember the lyrics to to WAP or whatever else you got going on in your life, you can remember how to use somebody's pronouns. But if you're like, I don't fool with that person.
Whoa, don't talk trash about WAP because that is a beautiful song.
You know what? Shut up, JR.
And how many times have you been told to say shut up?
Hey, today? When you play, I wake up to that song.
I don't know what WAP is, so it don't matter.
Mama, you don't need to know.
Okay.
Listen,
later.
I'll play it for you at the next cookout.
No, you won't either.
No, you will not.
It'll change your relationship.
So I don't think that you can compare it to like if you know every word to WAP, then you can remember my pronouns. That's not a good analogy because I don't know the words to WAP myself personally. However, there's a difference in forgetting to use the appropriate pronouns and making a conscious decision not to. And he's basically saying, I am not using it because I don't like him. He doesn't like me and I don't care. Basically, he's doing it just to make the person upset.
Yeah.
I don't consider that being activist. I just feel like he's just being a butt.
No, that he is, but she says part of her activism, that was like part of her activism as an activist, she was like that, I think that's disrespectful and he was like, yes, you're right, it is disrespectful. So I am meaning to be disrespectful.
Is she an activist or is she a bandwagon jumper? Like you cannot fight every battle.
Right.
I mean, so is she an activist or is she a bandwagon jumper? I think she's a bandwagon jumper.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I think. Because now it's part of my activism. So she said, I'm an activist and I am an activist for all things. So was she at the Capitol being an activist for those people? Are you going to pick and choose your battles, or are you just going to figure out what's next? What's the next thing for you to be a part of?
Yeah, I mean, to me, being an activist means that, this is your passion and this is what you're doing. This is what I'm trying to do to change. I may not change your mind, but I can make it better for the next person.
Right. Or at least let's dialogue and respect each other's point of view. Right. Because because it's important to have dialogue and it doesn't have to be a heated discussion.
Right.
But as far as her being an activist, she sounds like an activist of convenience is what she sounds like to me.
So what do you mean by activist of convenience?
Because you're picking
and choosing your battles.
Right. So today I'm going to be an activist for this person because this person is being
going on, right?
What they talking about on TV? Oh, I'm going to go down to that rally because it's that's what I'm saying. Say she says she's an activist. So are you jumping on all issues that requires activism?
Now, so another question, do you think that you necessarily need to only have one thing that you're passionate about and that's your activism?
No, I don't believe that.
I don't believe that, but I do believe that you have a passion for it. And, if that guy said, I don't like him, it doesn't matter, I don't care about him, what you gonna do? You're gonna beat them across you're gonna beat them across the brow and say, oh, you will call them this because this is who they are. It's not activism. That's just bullying and like Mona said, battle jumping. that's his opinion. If he decides that no, I don't want to call him that, I don't like him like that, he don't like me. I mean, not like that, but I don't like him, he don't like me. So what he, what he does not matter to me. So, I met him as this is what he is to me, and that's fine. And as long as, as that's his opinion, that's fine. Everybody has an opinion. And that's the thing about it, is you can't browbeat nobody to join your opinion because that's your opinion. You have a dialogue. The world has to consist on dialogue. You can't go anywhere if it's like, oh, well, this is how I am. The same way you said that the girl said, I don't deal with white people. Okay, that's your opinion. But you can't make me not deal with white people because you don't want to deal with them.
Right.
Okay. So let's kind of like let's
incoming, baby.
Let's take this to like another kind of sphere. I was thinking about, we're right now we've got that Roe versus Wade thing going on. So there's a lot of activism on both sides that's happening right now, and a lot of like very high rhetoric. Hold on,
before you get to that, Jason, before you get to that, have y'all seen that what happened in Buffalo, New York?
Yes, we were going to talk about that.
Yes.
Well, you supposed to talk about that when we got to talk about the racism thing. That's how you do it. You keep talking.
Here he go.
Jesus Christ! Maybe I should take this podcast over because you're the worst host ever. And I'm gonna let you do your thing. What was you saying?
There you go with your opinion.
I'm gonna make me my own podcast on Tuesdays at 6.
Listen, JR, if you would like to be the host of this podcast, I will let you host it.
No, you're doing a great job. Go ahead.
That's what I thought. Shut up now. Back to what I was saying. So as that activism, those things are happening on both sides, and people are starting to ramp up. Do you think there is a way to have healthy dialogue between two activists on opposite sides of a coin, and actually like move the needle? Not necessarily individually, but like as a society, kind of move the needle in like a middle direction.
I think it can be done. Do I think it will happen? No. And the only reason why is because you always got these little voices behind. I mean, if you catch an individual one-on-one and let them have the dialogue, then yeah, it can be, because you're going to listen to both sides of the coin and see which one, and some people, some may have agree with some of the things that you believe in and some may not, but you're dialoguing, there's a conversation. But when you got these other people that are behind the ear and they in your ear saying, well, this is this and this is that, and we don't do this and we don't do that, and if you're going to be a part of this, then we don't want to be a part of you, then no, you're never going to be able to sit down and have that dialogue where you're listening, because you're not listening to the person, you're listening to the people behind you or the people that are in your ear.
I also think it depends on subject matter. Racism is always going to be a hard battle. Roe versus Wade is important, but the way that people dialogue about it is a little different. I think it depends on the subject.
Okay, I think that is. I personally think that like that's Roe versus Wade is one of those things that like is, again, I don't have a uterus, and I'm only going to be so close to one, so there's not a lot of conversation I can personally have on it. But I also feel like it's one of those things where like a lot of people like to cherry pick information in order to suit their own needs, and we do that. And quite frankly, we do that with everything. You know what I mean?
Yes, like, and the Bible too.
Don't even get me started on that. But we cherry pick things to fit our narrative. You know what I'm saying? There's confirmation bias, and like all over the world, like you will find the things that support the view you want to have, and I think that part of activism, no matter what, should be engaging with people who don't feel like or don't believe the same things that you do. Because if all I talk to are people that believe the same things that I do, what am I going to change? I'm just talking to the choir.
Right. Well, let me tell you, I talked about this Roe versus Wade. I'm sorry, but yeah, if you don't want abortion, you don't want a woman's right to choose, keep your little willy bobo in your pocket. Because as long as you putting it out there and they taking it, somebody gonna get pregnant. So now you get to decide whether I can keep my child that you done placed in there. If I decide I don't want this child, who's gonna take care of it? You already complaining about the welfare system. You're already complaining about people, food stamps, and we need to cut this, that, there, and the other. So if I decide, no, I don't want to bring a child in there, number one, it could have been for incest, it could have been for rape or whatever. For whatever reason, I decide I don't want this child. This child, if I'm coming up on a relationship and we didn't get along, and all of a sudden I found out I was pregnant, and he ain't gonna help me and I can't do it by myself, then let me make that decision. Not you.
I feel you. Listen, I agree with you on that. I feel like now I do think that like fathers' rights are important. You know what I'm saying? Let me not say that. I do think that if you're a dad, if you were the father and you want to have some relationship, you should have some dialogue in that. And have conversations.
Then they need to sit down and they need to discuss, okay, I get you don't want the child, but don't take that right from me not wanting it. So once you have it, you can always sign that right over to the dad. But you can't sit there and say, oh, well, I ain't taking care of it. And we know that a lot of times these men going out here, they baby makers. I'm sorry. They baby makers. They got 50 million daggone kids running around, and ain't nobody, and you ain't taking care of none of them, and you crying broke, and then you meet somebody else, and then she get pregnant, and you still crying broke. No, if you gonna have it, if you want it, and that's your desire to raise your child, even though she doesn't want it, then you all make that agreement and make it legal and binding. But you're not, for you to just say, oh, well, I knocked her up and this, that, there, and other. And, sometimes there's how many babies you got and how many kids, how many of them are you taking care of? A lot of them don't take care of their kids.
Now, I also feel like after, kind of going through and really looking at what happens to women's bodies when they have a baby and, the changes that they go through. Ain't no way in the world. If someone doesn't want to have a child, you know what I mean, and they don't want that baby, 9 months of taking care, doing all of this to give, hell nah.
You got women out here that don't want children, but they don't want to do abortions, and I get it. So they would give the child up for adoption. But then where is the child going? Do you have somebody that's going to adopt the child? Because if not, it's going to be part of a system. And everybody, that once a child becomes part of the system and they get a certain age, they ain't getting adopted.
Right.
They're going to be in the system until they're of age. Why are you putting a child through that if you don't want the child? And why are you going to make me put a child through that I don't want? And then you go looking for the child. People, these children are going looking for parents, and then they want to know, well, why didn't you keep me? Well, I didn't want it. And that's the only thing you can say. I didn't want it. So why didn't you keep me? Well, the government made me keep the child, even though I didn't want it. The father didn't want it. And the mother didn't want it. The father didn't want to take care of it. I can't do it on my own. And, people are putting this pressure on women when there is, it may not be the best solution, but there is a solution. People don't go to get birth control and all. And sometimes birth control don't always work.
Yep.
Listen, and I don't know a single person that's had an abortion that was like, I'm gonna take myself down to the abortion clinic, y'all. It's not a happy situation.
Right.
You a lie. I know some.
I know some
right.
Oh.
I do know some that will say, "Oh, I'm pregnant. Oh, I'm going there and get this thing."
Right, but it's not like. But it's not a.
It's
What I mean by that is, it's not like.
Thing.
There's no joy in it. You know what I'm saying? They're not like, I'm gonna go, kill a fetus today, y'all.
Of course, it ain't no joy because you're spending money. It ain't free.
Right.
Well, there's probably I'm for some people there is some emotional ties to it, but some don't care.
But so I didn't want to have another conversation about Roe versus Wade, but here we are again. But I do want to talk about.
You brought this shit up.
I was talking about the activism, sir.
But that's the same thing. You got some people that are for it, some people that are against it. That is the activism part about it.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing about it is some people aren't listening. Everybody will say, "Oh, I'm against abortion. I don't want to have it." But let some people go out here and get a girl pregnant, and they're gonna bring up all kinds of money and all kinds of reason as to why you need to get rid of this child.
Oh, I've said hands down, and I mean it. This isn't going to get rid of abortion. It's just going to get rid of safe abortions because the people with money is still going to get them.
Right. So just make it legal. Leave it alone.
But
women then you don't have to worry about women dying on the table because some senator or some congressman or somebody else, somebody important, some CEO, then went out there and got somebody pregnant and they got a wife at home and they trying to protect their information and it ain't getting protected. No, I'm sorry. Shut up. Keep it in your pocket. My mama used to say, you better keep that Willy Bobo in your pocket.
This Willy Bobo thing is throwing me every time she says it. It is throwing me every time. I was like, who is Willie?
Your grandmother used to say, keep that Willy Bobo in your pocket and you ain't got to worry about no surprises. She was right.
So I want to talk about this shooting that happened on Saturday. Can I just
you got to talk about the one on Saturday, the one on Sunday. I mean, they just...
Can I just say I'm tired? Like, I'm so tired of talking or, having to keep revisiting conversations that we've been having forever. You know what I mean? Like,
right. The same old. People are going around shooting people for no reason. You went 300 miles to a black community to shoot somebody? Really? Is that what we do now? You go to a church to shoot somebody? I mean, it's crazy. You don't like the world? Look, that's like domestic violence. You ain't got to beat me. Just beat yourself. You don't want to be in this world, beat yourself.
I said, it has gotten bad when there are people whose job it is to analyze these situations, you know what I'm saying? Analyze what happens. And they are like, I'm so tired of doing this.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I'm so tired of talking about, white nationalists going to communities of color and killing people. You know what I'm saying? This kid was 18 years old. This kid didn't know shit from stink. And you know what I'm saying? But he...
Hold on. I don't mean to cut y'all off. Come on, we're going to sing happy birthday to Desi real quick.
Okay, well, dag.
Yeah, I mean, we might as well all do it as a group, even online.
Oh, that's so nice. Thank you.
All right, you ready?
No.
Hold on, Siobhan trying to get her light game together. She can't...
Siobhan, that dress is cute.
Happy birthday. Which way we went? Hold
on, ready?
You gotta wait. The sparkles ain't lit yet.
What? How many candles she got on that cake?
They playing too much now.
Go ahead. I don't think they're gonna sparkle. They only sparking a little bit. Great. Go ahead.
Y'all ready?
Happy birthday. Yeah, come on.
To you.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Daisy.
Happy birthday to you.
We didn't say the right version.
Happy birthday to ya. Happy birthday to ya. Happy birthday. Oh, we can't do that because we don't own that and we on YouTube. That's it. That's all you get. Sorry, boo.
But it's happy birthday.
Technically, you ain't supposed to do the happy birthday either.
The regular happy birthday song is in the public domain. The Stevie Wonder one is not.
Only if you call it that.
Look, everybody didn't know that song.
It's not saved anywhere. He gave it to us. He let us do it.
I called it the Jason Wonder song.
Anyway, so back to what we were saying before. We had to have that little
Jason
moment of
wondered if he could sing it.
Let's go ahead and get back to what we was talking about. But like this man, and you got to think like this is part of this is like the internet. You know what I'm saying? This kid, I don't know what his home life was like, what his mom and daddy do for a living, or what they do, but like he had a time like
engineers. They were engineers.
They were engineers.
Have you seen
they were
the video
engineers.
of it though?
Both of them.
I saw a little bit. I've not watched. First of all, I'm not watching someone die.
Well, I watched it because the dude sent it to me, and I was like, "What the hell is this?" And I thought it was fake when I seen it at first. And I said, "No, this can't be real." But then that's when I found out later on that day that it was real because they deleted it. They took it off the whatever site he sent it to me on.
It was on Twitch.
Yeah.
Oh, he live streamed.
He live streamed it. Like he had
a
GoPro camera on a helmet, so it was like he was playing like a first-person shooter.
So what, he was in Call of Duty?
Yeah, but the crazy part about it was if he'd have got away with it, he was going down the.
So he was going to do what?
He was going down the street and do some more, kill some more people.
Yeah, like
at another shopping center.
That neighborhood.
And it's like you have to think like 18. And personally, I'm gonna be real. When Kyle Rittenhouse got off for killing them people last year, I said this finna happen again.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the Kyle Rittenhouse thing was a lot different.
No, it's not. It's not that different.
Yes, it was.
Why?
Yes, it was. Because Kyle Rittenhouse, you talking about the little like 17-year-old kid who shot the people.
Mm-hmm.
The difference was he kind of like was just walking down the street.
No, he wasn't just walking down the street.
Yes,
that man
yes,
drove
he was.
From one place. He drove 200 miles.
Hold on, I think
Mother drove him there. Wasn't that him?
Yes.
But hold on.
His mother drove him to the place in Wisconsin where they were protesting.
He wasn't living. He didn't live in Wisconsin.
If you seen the video, he was walking down the street and the boys jumped him. He was walking down the street. It's a lot different
with a gun because they say he had a gun.
The difference
I'm sorry, it's not that different.
He was just walking.
You drove.
This dude literally walked into the grocery store shooting at people.
But
versus Kyle Rittenhouse just walking down the street minding his business and got jumped and then he shot him.
Yeah, but at the same time, this guy drove 300 miles to a black neighborhood. That is the same thing.
It's not the same.
It is the same.
It's not. It's not the same because Kyle Rittenhouse again was walking down the street with the black people. He wasn't just randomly shooting at them.
What was his reasoning for walking down the street with the black people?
See, you missed that. That's no here nor there. That's why
that is not neither here nor there.
It is.
That is not. It is not.
I could walk in a white neighborhood with a gun. That don't mean I'm going to kill white people.
He's saying why he got off. Not he's not saying for him. He's saying why he got off.
Yeah, the reason it was justifiable because they was trying to kick his ass. Versus this other white dude went there to kill people. Kyle Rittenhouse.
What I'm saying, the link
but it just happened to be the same.
What I'm saying is the link is it emboldened people to go to places and shoot them because they feel like this person got away with it, so I can get away with it.
Well, you know where they're getting this shit from? The police. So,
I mean,
they let them walk away with killing us, so they feel like they could do it. Maybe I shouldn't be saying this online. Let me hide my face.
It's a little late.
Yeah. So if I turn up missing tomorrow, y'all know who got me.
Your mouth.
Yeah.
No, I feel like this. If first off, I consider it first degree. I don't care whether you you walking down the street with me and we beat you up or whatever. You came in a neighborhood with a gun. You didn't come in a neighborhood without a gun and you decided, oh, they didn't beat me up. Let me go get a.
But see, that's the problem. You can't look at it that way.
Yes, I can, because
you cannot. Because by law, he can have the gun. It was not illegal for him to possess it. That's the main thing about it.
Are we talking about Kyle Rittenhouse again? Because we could go all day about all the ways that man was wrong for doing what he did. I mean, he might have not been wrong for shooting for. But he might have not have been wrong in the eyes of the law, but he was wrong as two left shoes.
Well, you used to wear two left shoes, so.
What?
JR.
Shut up.
Just shut up.
But yeah, so it's different though. Like now, I didn't agree with it when it happened. I kept saying, he going to jail. But if you actually look more into when Kyle Rittenhouse did it, you was like, okay, now he was dead wrong, but I mean, you know, he was getting beat up. So it was like, okay.
Listen.
So he got off on self-defense? Is that what I'm hearing here?
Basically, because if you actually watch the video, 1 minute he's walking down the street, the boys start messing with him, and then they start trying to fight him, and that's when he ended up shooting one. He failed and turned around and shot one, and that's how he got shot.
Well, they started fighting him because he had the gun. He possessed
You're walking down the street with a gun.
Yeah, exactly. But it was legal for him to possess it. That's
okay. So let's unpack this whole thing. Let's just go ahead and unpack the whole thing. So here's my thoughts on this, right? So you had your mama drive you from wherever bumfuck you lived at to Wisconsin. I'm sorry I'm cussing, but now I'm annoyed. You to Wisconsin so that you could protect property in a neighborhood that you do not live in, you do not know anything about, and you are with a gun that is not, I'm not going to say not legal to have, but why do you have that gun is not for hunting, it's not for home protection, it is to literally kill things with.
First of all,
you went there with the
was
intent.
He there?
That was a hunting gun, though.
He was attacked because people, they didn't want him to go out there shooting up stuff like other people do, like this guy that just did in Buffalo. That's why he was attacked. He was a young white man at a black rally. Well, not necessarily a black rally, but it was pertaining to Black Lives Matter. And he was a boy. And it wasn't like a handgun, it was like some big,
it was a rifle.
It was a rifle.
Right. Mm-hmm. Now, if you was there and you were walking around, you know good and well, you probably would have been like, "Oh, he ain't up to no good." Nobody would have been like, "Oh, guys, leave him alone."
But
they were trying to prevent.
But see, the difference in me and them was, if I see him, I'm gonna walk the other way because I'm saying, "Oh, he ain't playing." Because he right.
So the difference is, and the thing is, remember the thing is the people that attacked him, and I'm putting attacked in quotes. They were white people.
No, they were black.
No, they weren't. The ones he killed was white.
No, the dudes he killed was black. They was young.
No, the guys he killed was white.
It was a white guy too. The guy he got like the end of the gun or something, and he shot him. John, I'm gonna need you to get your fun facts together.
Right before you come out here talking.
I'm gonna need y'all to know the law before y'all keep talking there, because y'all don't know that. Law? Listen, I'd have been through it enough to know more than y'all. That's for damn sure.
Every single one of these victims were Caucasian from the Caucasus Mountains.
Then why are we having this talk then? He killed white people. Fuck him. I'm just joking with you.
So
I said I was joking.
So what I'm saying is, so these were white people who were at a black rally who saw this white boy, because he's 17, that's still a boy, with a gun and said, he ain't up to no good. Our job as white people in this rally is to protect the black people who were protesting.
But at 17, his father, I think, or somebody bought him that gun. That's why it was legally, he could legally possess it.
So that means
that's
what?
gotta have a license.
Okay, I had a legal gun, but that gave me the right to legally shoot somebody.
Well, you got to remember, it was self-defense. At the end of the day, it was self-defense. No matter how you want to look at it, it was self-defense. Even if you walking down the street with a whole
but see, the thing is, that's where we're different. It's not the court may have said that it's self-defense. That wasn't, because he went there with the intent to cause harm.
See, you looking at it the wrong way. I can walk in the middle of the mall.
He went there with the intent. You can't break into my house.
Hold on,
because you're not breaking into my house. See, when I whoop your ass, you say you pursue me and say it's self-defense. You won't be doing that. He went to a place he was not supposed to be.
Assume that's what it was for, though. We don't know that.
Yes, we do. Assume.
No, we do not. He never not one time said, I'm racist, I hate black people.
He said, because they asked him, why did you go to why were you there? You're not
he
from
was there
there.
To protect somebody's store.
He said, I went to protect property.
Somebody's store. Yeah. That was it.
Let me tell you something. He got off because people were looking out for him. His ass was dead ass wrong.
Right.
If you look at the news, he was doing his good crying and all kinds of stuff. Yeah, no.
There wasn't even looking like crying. He looked like more like he was having an asthma attack.
Right. So it definitely, people were on his side. They was like, no, they went into it knowing that they was going to get him off. So that's how he got off.
Right. That was not legally.
Let one of us try it. Let one of us go in there with that same gun in a damn crowd and start shooting. We're not getting off. Period. We're not getting off. We would still be in jail right now.
Right. If we made it out of there alive.
Crying and looking like we have an asthma attack.
If we made it out of that mug alive.
Right. It's just not going to happen.
So, JR, I hear what you're saying, and I understand from a legal concept. Yes.
It wasn't even really a legal concept. Trust and believe.
It was white privilege.
He had people on his side that got him off, and it that's just how it goes. And sometimes, unfortunately, that's how it goes in the system. It's not going to go that way with everybody. But for that young man, it went that way. Right. Because there's no way you can tell me that you done drove a couple of hours to go to a location with this big gun, not no little pow. He had him a huge gun and just walking down the middle of the street. And do they have a license to carry? At his age, does he have a license to carry? I don't know. Who knows? So, things were just on his side, period.
They knew he was wrong. And once they saw the video of the guys coming at him, they said, oh, I know. We're going to say self-defense because he didn't shoot anybody until after that. Everybody knows those people were trying to disarm him. That was obvious.
Right.
That's the same stuff that happened that George Zimmerman did.
You know what I'm saying? He's right. And we all know George Zimmerman was wrong as two right shoes.
Because he got his ass beat. That was the bottom line. Trayvon Martin whooped that ass.
And he couldn't take it.
Right. He shouldn't have been following him anyway.
And going forward with this one, let's see how this pan out. Because it seems like the going thing is they can find a reason why he can go in there and just shoot up a whole bunch of African Americans and be able to get away with it.
I don't think he's gonna. This one, I don't think he's gonna get away with.
No. What they're saying is he basically kind of went crazy because he was holed up in the house because of the pandemic.
I am so tired.
That's what his family.
So he went 2 hours out his way.
They're gonna try to say he went insanity. That's gonna be.
I'm so tired of people trying to claim mental illness as a reason why white folks act crazy.
Yes. But they was comparing him. They were saying with him, they said a white boy who was 18. But when Michael Brown, they called him a black man, same age.
Yeah.
Two differences.
It's a completely different way that they spin these narratives or they spin these stories, because that is how, you know what I'm saying, it is. When you look at, like, do you guys remember, this was a couple years ago, that kid, that man who raped that girl behind the dumpster? He was a swimmer and he raped this girl behind the dumpster, and the judge gave him 4 months probation.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
And sealed his record because he said that, like, he didn't want this little mistake to ruin his whole life.
Yeah, he was able to get away with that. Isn't that cute?
Right.
But you know, they always do that when it comes to pedophiles and people who rape. They don't get them a lot of time anyway. They get them stuff like 18 months jail time.
The boy life.
And then you wonder what.
Listen, that's because the Pied Piper is a serial rapist.
and he was black with money, that's why.
The Pied Piper is a serial rapist. The Pied Piper was doing his stuff in the open and didn't care that nobody did. Like, it was an open secret. I also partially blame us because we knew and we let it go because the music was bumping.
Well, I'm gonna tell you why they did him that way, because remember, he got off on the first one.
He did get off on the first one.
And that's
they felt some type of way behind that.
Because I was like, oh my God. And then when the little girl's own parents said it wasn't her in the courtroom, I mean, how else can you spin it? Like, I mean, this are parents. They would know you. In my mind as a parent.
Oh no, they knew it was her. But what happened was he paid them
off. You know, so I'm thinking a parent is never going to let. But they sold that girl's soul, and shame on them. May they rot in hell.
Well, from my understanding, when I watched some, they pretty much he paid them all of the money, the girl too, and even sent them on a vacation. Because they ended up missing a court date because he sent them on a vacation as well. So he knew what he was doing.
Listen, the one thing about the Pied Piper.
They knew the court date was they bought into it. That's what I'm saying. They let him pay them off. They didn't miss the court date because they didn't know because he sent them on vacation. They missed the court date because he was buying them and they allowed that shit.
That's what I said.
No, that ain't
we're gonna keep it relatively short tonight because I'm tired.
Because you nothing, nigga. You missed last week. You on till we say we off.
I don't have anything else after this. So if you have something.
I got a lot to talk about.
Okay, well then we can keep going then. And then it'll be the JR show featuring JR and the JR players. I don't know what you are doing, but I'm going to need you to calm it down over there, sir.
Oh, you lucky you like 20 hours away from me.
No, you lucky you like 20 hours away from me. Anyway, so I was watching this documentary on Hulu called Love Fraud, and it was about this man who married like 8 different women in the span of 2 years and would just like take their money and just peace out.
What in the world?
Child, that's the new going thing now.
And apparently it happened in Kansas City.
Oh wow.
Like, how do they get access to all their money? How do you get access to all their money?
All their like they would get married, and so they would combine their bank accounts.
Yeah. And he would take all that.
And he would empty the bank account, disappear. Listen,
people stopped doing background checks. That's what it was.
Like he presented himself to be this like, oh, I'm a what did he say? He's a businessman and he does all of these things and like he would love bomb them. Like he would like do this like all this immaculate stuff, give him like buy hotel stays at like the super 5-star hotels, do all this stuff, get him in, and then immediately boom. Once they got that marriage certificate, they put their finances together, he would book it to the next. Was in the same city doing this.
Wow.
He sound like the Tinder swindler.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's the original Tinder. And then like so finally he got caught up in Kansas City and moved to Wichita, which is like 3 hours away, and did it there, and then got caught up in Wichita, and then moved to Knoxville. And in Knoxville is where he had been for a while, and like, when I tell you, this man did. Oh, I have one more thing to talk about after this. I'm sorry. No. You said you had to get off. Shut up. He had when it all came told, he had 10 marriages in 2 years. Someone, when they asked him, they finally caught him and he went to jail for 4 months.
4 months.
That's it. 4 months. When they finally got with him and caught him, they asked him how many times he'd been married. He said 5, and they were like, "Well, can you name them?" He was rattling off these names, and come to find out, it was 10 women, and he didn't remember all their names or where they all came from. Hey, so next week, I want y'all to watch this show called Our Father. I'm gonna watch it too, but it's supposed to be on Netflix. Okay. Our Father. Have y'all been watching The Real Housewives of Atlanta?
No.
Hell no. We got lives.
None of us watched that.
The reason that I'm asking is because you better talk to Siobhan. She watched that crap.
Wait a minute. Dang. You don't call it crap?
Wow, you were serious about it. Because there is, all the good people left, and all we got left now is Kenya Moore and Marlo and these new people. And this one girl, Drew, her husband, is
Drew Sidora?
Yeah. Her husband is a hot mess. And let me tell you, so this is what they did. He had an assistant, right? And apparently the assistant said something about texted him a message about giving him a massage. And Drew saw it and was like, "Oh, this isn't gonna you're gonna have to you have to fire her. We can't have that energy in our relationship." So then he gonna fire her, and then I guess they still talk back and forth. So she's like, "Are you still talking to her? I thought you fired her." He said, "I told you I was gonna fire her. I didn't say I wasn't gonna keep talking to her."
I can't.
He's an ass.
You already knew that it was some mess when it came to him anyway. When he got mad, they had an argument or something, and he just up and left and went to Miami for
3 days. And then everybody's like, "Where did you go?"
She didn't know anything about anything.
Wait, is that this most recent episode? Because I haven't watched that one yet.
No, that was seasons ago.
So apparently,
that was seasons because I saw that one.
So they went to. So apparently, she gave this most recent episode I saw. He took her, had a plan a surprise for you, right? Planned a surprise. Did so they're having this dinner, and he is basically telling her I love you. I really want I want to make things work and blah blah blah. And she's like, cool. We need to talk about some of the things that are happening. And he looked at her and said, "I think you need to go to the therapist and find out how to talk to men."
Oh wow.
And she was like, what?
I'm convinced he trying to be a 2.0 version of Stevie J.
And meanwhile, I'm looking at this she's not I don't understand why women or people in general stay in relationships that they know are toxic.
Because they have
sometimes you're trapped. You can't.
I agree, but then you got to realize
sometimes they feel like they can change the person, or I put in so much work. Eventually, they gonna do
right. They're gonna come around.
The next one is going to get everything that I put in the work
for. Or the person lowered their self-esteem enough to where they think they can't get nobody else. So that's
really what I think is going on with this situation. Because at one point she's sitting in the room in this thing crying, and he just looking at her like this.
I think personally, when it comes to her, when it comes to Drew Sidora, I think that role that she played, she kind of took that to head when she was on the game. I think it was called The Game, and Drew Sidora took away, because that's what people were saying. You know, Tariq said the same. Well, his name not Tariq, but Tariq said the same thing. Some people literally put that the role that you play, they don't know how to tell the difference between the acting and the
real life.
So she said, because I can't remember who it was, but one of them girls was like, "Oh no, I don't talk to you." This was the reality TV show. "No, I don't talk to you because you stole Derwin from Melody." And she was like, "Oh my God, are you really?" You know, that was a TV show, right? That's not real. But you know, people really do be saying that.
Yeah, they do.
To them. So I think a lot of hers possibly could be because of that role that she played in that show, because they be going at her for real, and I think it could have possibly messed up her self-esteem a little bit, maybe. I don't know.
Because I look at it and I'm like the producers.
Also, it's Real Housewives of Atlanta. It's very scripted.
Right, but the producers had to told her, I don't know. Although I think that a lot of the stuff with the Real Housewives, there's certain things you can't fake, and there ain't no way you gonna be that much of an asshole to me, and I'm gonna just sit there and take it.
It is scripted,
and you getting paid.
It's in the script.
And every time that something like that happens, they still make money off of it.
I feel how much money, but my soul ain't worth that much. My soul is they ain't got enough money for my soul.
And it's a check and a storyline.
That's them. So I'll be the martyr. I'll be the woe is me person, and I'll take all this bull and I'll do all of this, but I'm getting checked. There's a check in the mail. There's a check in my bank account, and that's what they look at.
Unless you're paying me Mimi Leak's salary, I can't do it. Well, anyway, does anybody have anything else they would like to talk about?
Well, just cut mommy off then.
I know you just.
What?
I didn't cut her off. She finished.
That was in the middle of a sentence.
I just saw on Facebook on TV10 news that somebody had went to our house at night and stole an electric lawnmower. But before they took the lawnmower, they mowed the person's grass.
Listen, you know what though? If you're gonna steal.
Not be real. What idiot did that?
That is funny. I mean,
what you call that? That is what you call that is a thief. That is
yes, it is.
That is considerate. You hear me? That's a considerate thief. Right. I'm gonna steal from you, but I know that you're gonna have to get this grass cut.
But actually, you need your grass cut, so I'm gonna cut your grass so you don't have to be worried about it.
I'm gonna cut it, and then I'm gonna roll on down the street.
But they ain't hear nobody cutting their grass though. I mean, I guess
I don't know, but can you see they're showing a little lawnmower? Now I don't know if that's real or not. But
okay, if that's one of the those are silent.
It's electric. Those are quiet. Yeah. And so he cut their grass for him before he took the.
You know what though? I can't be mad at it. Listen, I would have been like,
"You did wrong.
You wrong, but thank you, because I didn't want to cut this no way."
Only thing is how he gonna get it? How they gonna cut it next week or whenever the next time? That's terrible.
You gotta buy a new one.
Can you bring me my lawnmower back and cut it
Listen,
next week?
Here's the deal. That's how I would be like. You can keep it. Just come back every week and cut this lawn.
Right. Somebody said on here they were testing a lawnmower for defects.
That's what I think. I think that.
Let's make sure it works before I take it.
Before I take it, I'm gonna make sure it works. All right, anybody else got something?
No.
Come on, JR. You had all that. You had all these topics you want to talk about. Where's you at now?
Talking.
I didn't voice my opinion today. I think I did. I talked a lot.
I know. Wait a minute. What was it that you? What was you saying? Bobo.
Willie Bobo.
That's the word for the day.
This episode is brought to you by Willie Bobo. If you keep it in your pocket, you won't have no surprises.
He talking to somebody. He ain't talking to us.
Yeah, he talking.
I'm telling you, that's what Mom told Anthony.
I remember that.
He got the Willie Bobo. I was like, did she say Willie Bobo?
Listen, it stuck with you.
Okay.
Yeah, you know that.
Years later,
something. I still remember that one. And one day y'all gonna be like, your great grandmama said, keep that Willie Bobo in your pocket. Oh, well.
Not pocket though.
The pocket is what got me. The pocket is really what took me down.
But it's in the pocket. How does that?
JD, there's nobody there. Okay, and I have the little thing over the door.
Hi, JD. Dang, I remember when I used to get like that old dry high I just got.
Yeah, that's what happens when they get older.
Listen, it ain't got nothing. He ain't even on the phone, so he don't care about none of that.
I just got that.
He was like, "Hi."
That high just made my throat hurt. That was dry.
Right.
We still on the air.
Yeah, we're still on the air. Waiting for y'all to see if there's anything else. JR, do you have anything that you would like to say?
Is he on the phone?
I'll let you slide today, sucker.
No, I'll let you slide.
After all that shit he talked.
After all of that shit he talked.
You better step your game up come next week. Or I'm coming for your title.
Would you like to host next week? I'll let you do that. Matter of fact, y'all, next week the Cousins will be hosted by JR.
We got to change it. What's the name of the show? We got to change it if I host it.
What's the name?
What you gonna name it?
Big Daddy's House.
Oh hell, I ain't coming. I'm not gonna be there.
I don't need y'all. I got friends.
I'm not going to Big Daddy's house if Big Daddy is my cousin. I'm not doing that.
Yeah, no. They can have that.
Well, listen here, JAYSON.
Okay.
Are we still on?
Yes.
Well, guys, this was another episode of The Cousins.
Breath.
Thank you for watching. And once again, we are sponsored by Black Unicorn Magics. And matter of fact, get well soon, Shaniqua. We missed the Black Faye Day in Atlanta because she was sick. So there's that. And also by Paul's Diner. Get yourself some good food down at Paul's Diner on Blue Ridge Boulevard. Thank you guys for watching the show, and we will be with you guys next week. Bye.
Peace out.
Bye.
Bye.